Hello, crazy ones. So today we're gonna talk about David Goggins' biography, Can't Hurt Me, and this is the second time I'm reviewing the book. So the lessons that I want to talk about today are three lessons, and they are: don't listen to what you say, listen to what you do. Second one is, um, you hurt yourself way more when you give up on something than when you fail or lose in a humiliating or in a miserable way. Third lesson is, uh, as you get more disciplined, you will feel more sad. So let's get through this. Basically, the whole point of becoming disciplined is you start doing more harder things. And as you do that, you realize that you're not as tough as you think. And what I mean by that is whenever you're pushing yourself harder and harder, your body's default incentive is to conserve energy. And the better way to put it is to conserve the status quo. And what that means is that your body's gonna tell you to come on, man, you're good enough. Come on, man, you look good enough. Come on, man, you're the best looking guy in the gym. Why go hard? Why push hard? Stop it here. And what your body is not gonna say is that, man, you're still not the best in the world. You have to work harder to get there. Or man, you spent 6 months achieving this body. You could have done it in 2 months if you didn't jackass around. And these are the things that your body will say, and these are the things your body won't say. And what that means is that a lot of people will say, I have a dream to have a great body, but don't really act on it. And and when you don't act on things, your subconscious and part of your soul starts believing things about yourself. And those beliefs are more powerful or more stronger or more true than what you say to yourself. A lot of people say to themselves, for example, I will be a millionaire before I'm 30. But when you take a look at their actions, their actions don't really result in that, and their actions don't really carry that expectations of themselves. And in a way, their mind is playing tricks on them in terms of not revealing to them that they're not putting enough action to get the goal done. And that's the part that you need to understand, and it relates back to the working out example, and that your body's incentives are something very different. And if you don't understand your body's incentives, you're gonna be, in a way too optimistic and miss the signals that you have to be aware of in order to push beyond your limits or grow much more. And if you, for example, don't know the incentive of your body when it comes to working out, you're gonna not also realize that when you're making money, for example, if you're making more than anyone in your family, and let's say that is $250,000 a year, there's gonna be a very strong voice in your body saying, "Dude, why go harder? Just take a vacation to Hawaii and enjoy life," and stuff like that. So, um, that's what Goggins did when he started losing weight as well. A lot of times, he told himself that he's gonna lose weight, but he didn't. And at some point, something clicked in him that he started doing way more. Now, the second lesson I want to get into is when you give up, you put yourself through much more damage than when you fail or lose. And I'll demonstrate this lesson with the example itself. This is what David Goggins' life was like. He got beat up by his dad, so his mom and him moved out to a different city. In that small city, he was one of the few black kids in school. He played basketball. He cheated his way through school, and he made it to Air Force school, and he wanted to become part of the military. At some point, he had to do an evolution. An evolution means a physical test, and the physical test was swimming. And David just doesn't pass this test. And basically, they do some physical tests on him as well, and they find that he has a small defect that David really takes that small thing because he really doesn't want to do the swimming thing. He really takes that disease and takes the easy path out of the military and basically gives up on his dreams. And when he does that, the book doesn't really connect the two dots, but that's the point of his life, that David gets into the worst shape of his life and does many things that when you look on his story, is like, oh, that was the lowest point in his life. He gains weight to 300 pounds. He starts working at Ecolab, basically cleaning cockroaches in different places. And basically, he has a relationship with someone that is like in and out, and basically they have a unexpected child, and so on and so forth. And there are many times that David, fails a goal when it comes to, physical training or race. A lot of uh, David's long races, he doesn't really win or doesn't become number one, even though he's busting his face off to become number one. But when he gave up on himself, his soul got defeated. And when your soul gets defeated, you go way down a deep hole than anything else. And you get to see that in other areas of life as well. It happens to successful people as well. Some people become millionaires and become coasters. Some people become billionaires and become coasters. Some people even make $100,000 and they boast their face off and become coasters. And what happens, not in all situations, but when it comes to seeing someone that you always thought they were super ambitious and had super big goals, and at some point it seems like they stopped, it's this stagnation that they hit a wall, and instead of saying, I've lost or I failed, they say, oh, it's not possible to go past this wall, or life will be something horrible if I go past this wall. I cannot have a great life by going past this wall. And majority of the times it's just them giving up. And when they give up, they accept the excuse as well. So for example, one excuse would be, I cannot be a super rich man, let's say a billionaire, and have great family life. That is an excuse. And a lot of people might opinionate themselves out of it, but there's no proof that it's impossible. And if that's the case, it is possible. And when you study history, there are few situations where that has happened. It is difficult, but it's not impossible. But what people do when they tell themselves that it's not possible, they accept the excuse. When they accept the excuse, they have given up, their soul is defeated, and one part of their body or their soul is depressed for the rest of their life because they want the goal. They want to be a billionaire and have great family life, but they're putting one before the other. So in their family life, they're kind of depressed and kind of have some resentment over the family one as well, because they're like, you made this disappear. Or you've seen the reverse of that in life as well. It's like, I'm not gonna have kids because that will ruin my career, and nonsense like that. Okay, so third lesson I want to get into is, when you become more disciplined, you realize that you can do more things in the same amount of time. You can achieve more things in the same amount of time. But what does that really mean for you in your life? It means that you could have been something much better, much richer, much more famous, much more capable, much more good looking, but you haven't because you wasted your life. So as you get more disciplined, you're going to be more sad and pissed off at yourself. And that's normal because you realize how much you could have done that you didn't. And you get to feel this happening to David when he goes through his first 100-mile run. And after that, his body is completely destroyed. It's the most amount of physical pain that he has gone through. But after that 100-mile run, he does a marathon. And in that marathon, something in him clicks that says, don't waste your time. You're capable of much more than that. You've left so much in the tank in these many years, so never live your life like that again. And he goes off and he pushed harder, even though everybody and anybody would have told him to take a rest. And that's what it means to become more disciplined. is that you know what is possible, and even though you're the best, you still push hard and go through pain. Um, and you do that if you care about becoming great. And certainly David does that. Okay, those were 3 lessons after my second read of David and Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. I really look forward to read his next book, which I believe is called Not Finished. So stay tuned for that. And until next time, have an amazing one, crazy ones.